the shamaness, and this is
The creator, aka Ashua.
all right. And we're so happy to have you guys here. Today, we're going to be talking about a special topic. We're going to be talking about the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and basically the supreme balancement within it, and also how to spot when it's out of balance or you're acting like the lower nature within those energies and aspects. So
I want to talk about what divine masculine and divine feminine is to me, because basically to me, you can see divine feminine as the spiritual aspect of reality. It's the behind the scenes, it's the creative, it's the system that puts everything in play. And then the masculine is the physical version of it, the thing that protects it, the thing that makes sure everything's working correctly after everything is processed and created. So, and that's pertains to the physical world too. The woman takes care of the house, she makes sure the house is flowing correctly, and the man provides and makes sure that everybody feels safe, and it's on the physical level. So that's how it goes. And I feel like a lot of guys in our generation, especially, well, I feel like in the past, I feel like in our generation we're more getting into it because we're getting into spirituality, but there's still a lot of toxic masculinity in our generation, and I feel like a lot of guys are still clinging to old beliefs and old terms of, oh, if you hug a guy, you're gay, or if you say I love you to a guy, you're gay, or if you have a real conversation with somebody, you gay, or all this gay. It's not gay. It's called being in touch with yourself. It's called being in touch with all your emotions. You don't have to
being compassionate.
Yeah, you can express every side of emotions that you feel without overstepping bounds, So I feel like it's just a societal thing that people have clung to so much. So when somebody talk about, bro, you can but it gets so real. You have to express your feelings. Life gets too real at times. You break down because the shit is just too real. You have to express your emotions. It will kill you. If you keep that energy inside of you stagnant, it will literally kill you. And people keep energies from childhood, from teenage years, all the way up till they get old, stuck inside them, and wonder why they're so bitter, and everybody wonder why grandma's so bitter, because she got 80-year-old trauma she ain't dealt with. So it's really important to deal with the energies within inside of you on a masculine and feminine level, because I've known some females who are not in touch with their feminine side or not in touch with their masculine side, and they are just really either clingy and what's it called, they don't really know who they are. They don't know. They're just going with the flow, and
they don't know what they want.
Yeah.
Within the relationship.
Yeah, and it's toxic. So everything comes back to aligning your chakras. If you align your chakras, then everything will be in alignment, and your life will flow correctly. Because, I'm gonna go with the example of my brother. You have to repair the relationships and the perceptions you have of the feminine energy, because that energy exists within inside of you. It's not female and male and its outside version. There's male and female within everybody, and we're just expressions of it. So you have to clear out the perceptions you have of the feminine energy on the outside, so you can express your feminine energy within yourself and not shut that out, because that's literally killing you, keeping that stagnant energy inside of you. So that's why you have to make sure you have good relationship with your mom, good relationships with girls, and in your relationships and stuff like that. Because if you look down on feminine energy, then you won't ever express your feminine energy, which is caring, compassion, nurturing, and you'll be a toxic male, So I think that's simply it.
Yeah, and women as well portray, both men and women can portray aspects of wounded femininity and wounded masculinity. And some of the some of the traits of wounded masculinity are like abuse of power, trying to dominate, dominance, aggression, controlling, criticism, unsupportive, unstable, competitive, just like, and those are the aspects of toxic masculinity. And I've seen women portray that as well, and men. So it's not necessarily like a gender thing, but it's just like, again, like you said, finding that balancement within yourself.
Once you get in touch with your divine feminine as a man, like, it basically is like the most freeing feeling, because you're secure within your emotional state, your sexuality, everything. You know who you are and how you feel, what you like and what you want and what you need. And like, it's just freeing, you know, because you don't have any boundaries where you feel like, oh, I can't do this because they'll look at me like this, because you already know within yourself, I can express this without being like this. You know, you don't have this societal belief of, oh, I'm gay if I do this, or I'm soft if I do this, or I'm a simp if I tell her how I feel. Like, you're not.
Oh yeah, I hate that word simp.
I hate that word too. It's been around for a long time. It's coming back now. It's kind of fun.
It's like, no, you're just like, people would say you're a simp for just portraying what you're supposed to portray at, or not just portray, but what you're, the basic human decency as a human is like considered simping. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, that's what people should be treating other people.
Like, there's a level of simp that you can get to, but just expressing how you feel. Like, if a girl texts you and be like, oh, I don't know if I'm feeling you, and you being like, oh, well, I actually like was feeling you, like, can we try to work things out? That's not being a simp. That's you trying to create your reality. That's what you want, so you're gonna express how you feel. You're gonna be like, oh, well, fuck you then, bitch, because you a pimp. That doesn't make any sense. That's not the reality that you wanted. So try to create the reality that you want. And that's what having your energies aligned comes into play. If you are confident in your feminine and masculine, you'll be okay with saying that and expressing yourself. That's not simping. An example of simping would be if a girl clearly doesn't like you and every day you hitting her up, hey babe, can I buy some flowers? You're simping and you're being a creep and annoying. That's what a simp is. You're just being extra in your feelings. Obviously, when the girl's not feeling you, that's what being a simp is. So people have a misconceptualized belief behind the definition of simp, because it's not really a word that's in the fucking book of words. So nobody really knows the true definition of that shit. So, right. What you can manifest when you tap into your divine feminine, you can manifest whatever you want, because the female energy is the creative energy. It literally creates life. It was the start of all life, and it was the original being on this planet was all females, and they was able to create body, impregnate themselves, all that stuff. Females is like, who run the world? Girls, it's facts. When Beyonce made that song, she was not capping, but people would get caught in their egos, like, oh, women don't run shit. All the men is in the government. Because y'all got it backwards. When y'all take it back to how our ancestors had it, they knew that women was supposed to run the society and make sure everything was flowing good and nurture and care for everybody, make sure everybody got water, everybody's loved for, and the men was the ones fighting the wars, making sure ain't no intruders coming in, making sure everybody's good. So it's just how it goes. That's the balance between the energies, and you need to have that balance. It's yin and yang. If you don't have balance, then you have chaos. They found traces of alien genes in black female bones in Africa that trace back over like 1,000 years, over thousands of years. They can't even trace it back to the spawn point. So, and it's alien DNA, so they don't even know. Like, so it's like, obviously females were the first ones here, and they were not just pure humanoid beings, and they obviously mixed with us, and we're obviously the difference. While when we're in higher realms, there's no such thing as gender. But when we're incarnated here, we incarnate in certain vehicles for certain reasons to carry out certain plans. So there are gender
Mm-hmm.
roles on this planet. And
Mm.
there are roles that need to be withheld out through by certain biological beings. You don't see a lion acting like a zebra because that's not in his genes. It's not in his biological function to do that. So that's why you incarnated into this vehicle to um, what's it carry out a certain specific plan of intent. So that's, you chose this body, you chose your family, you chose all that. So why would you say gender is not real? It's obviously science. Everything in science traces back to spirituality, and there's laws of the universe that state that gender is a law. There has to be an incubation period, and there has to be a female and male counterpart to create anything. So gender is real. It's not just a construct, a social construct. There are social constructs designed around gender, like that women are weaker than men. That's not facts at all. There's some women that will beat my ass, like Ronda Rousey, but there's some females that will never be able to touch me. So it's just, there's constructs that are social constructs around it, but gender roles are a real thing and they need to be respected. So simple.
Yeah, I feel like it's just it just gets complicated. Again, like I'm saying, like back to the English language, there's just let's how about this? Let's do this. Let's look at the etymology of gender. Because I like looking at the etymology of things because a lot of people like they miss exchange, sex, gender. So let's see.
I
Let's see
love
what these.
etymology. Get back to the root.
So gender is a kind, sort, class, a class or kind of persons or things sharing certain traits. A kind, species, character, gender. It could be a race, stock, family, kind, rank, order, species, also male or female sex. From pi root gene, give birth, beget. Like you were saying, you need the two genders to create life. With derivatives referring to procreation and familial tribal groups.
Right, I feel you, Earth Tools. There's just because you're a man doesn't mean that you have to have a wife and you have to have kids and you have to provide and protect them. That doesn't mean anything, but that being a man is being a man. Like, just because, like, basically, if you saw a woman getting raped on the street, she would expect you to protect her. But if she saw a woman on the street, she would expect her to protect her, but she wouldn't be look at her sideways if she called 911 instead of trying to help, because that man could possibly rape her too. But if she would look at a man sideways if he was like, oh, I'm gonna call 911 or I'm gonna get on my knees and pray, because you're a man, you're supposed to get down and help. So there are gender roles that you should respect. The thing is, women rule with a humble hand instead of an iron fist. So they think we would be weak, or we would be, we wouldn't have structure if we let women rule. But that's the opposite. Like, everything will flow perfectly. It's just there's balance to everything. There's a balance you have to everything. So us shutting women out of every say so and our political system and all the laws, and them not being able to vote for a bunch of years in our country is detrimental to the health of our country and our state of our people, because we need all people, all accounts to tune in, to help. So that's really deep. It really is.
Yeah.
And I think society needs to realize the power of femininity. Like, that is, women are more powerful than men in an energetic sense. Like, they can be put through way more than a man can and still be just trotting fine, because they're just more powerful. That's why back in the day all the witches were women, because they were the first ones to figure out how to tap into that divine energy and actually manifest instantly and speak spells onto you and shit. So women are very powerful. They've just been taught not to be powerful through this man society. Matriarchal, right?
Patriarchal.
Patriarchal. Yeah, old back in the day we were patriarchal society
Mm-hmm.
that makes men, you know, the ruler, and men are the strongest. But that's not true. We're only strong in a physical sense. You like women are way stronger than us spiritually. So you wouldn't be running around raping women if there were still witches. If you knew that you could be possibly raping a witch, I bet your ass wouldn't be out here raping motherfuckers. So I think women need
Yeah.
to get back into their power. I don't necessarily agree. I don't think that because that's what I think the whole problem with the whole feminist movement is. They feel like they need some time to be on top, and oh, we need payback. Like no, like if you're actually righteous, you'll understand that the person that and like fucked you was an infant in their spiritual consciousness, and now that they have an understanding of where the level needs to be, we can just get on that level. There doesn't have to be a level of, oh well, I was this, so I need to be above you for a certain amount of time. And it's the same thing with Black Lives Matter. Just because we were oppressed and been being killed off all
I
this
see what
time,
you're saying.
need to be on top and, you know, fucking people up for any certain amount of time. We realized, okay, you were not righteous when you were doing what you were doing. You were not spiritually conscious. But now
Mm-hmm.
that you are, all right, we can get back on the right track because we always have been. Everything is spiritual before it's physical. So if you have a negative spiritual intention, your outcome will be negative. And the foundation of our at least country, and if not the whole damn world, is founded off greed and control. That's two very negative ass frequencies. So what do you expect? Duh. Everybody just wants money, and they once they figured out that you can create a form of value that's infinite, they just have a form of control because now you value something that you'll never be able to not like be able to actually have. You'll never be able to actually have money because there's always more money out there. There's an infinite amount. You know, numbers never stop. So